Hey everybody, welcome back. This is a test of yet another Mountaintop Electronics single 3500Z. Pretty straightforward as always. You got an on and off switch, you got your AM, sideband standby switch, you got your load over here, your tune over here, and plate voltage meter, plate current meter. This box is kind of cool because you have dual cooling, so this box is, most of them I use, they have a divider in the middle over here, so the supply is separate from the RF deck. But this one has a separate fan over here that pulls through the supply on its own, through that intake port back there. Okay, power cord ground, in and out. And then you have this fan. This fan blows out. So the bottom of this box is an enormous grate. It's all square holes, the whole bottom. So it pulls cold air up through the tube, past the pins, out the back. So it's kind of nice. Gives you a flat top with nothing, no holes, nothing to fall in the box over there. One unit. This box has a 1/2 amp continuous duty transformer. Continuous duty. So let's go ahead and show the drive. We'll start with that. So we're using a single final radio with a 1 pill, and we're on a 250 watt slug. We are on a real board 43, and we're running on peak. So let's show carrier power. I'm going to key the radio here. Now, remember, I'm not going to use a microphone. I'm going to use the tone generator, so it's going to go through the, but I'm just going to do it with no tone right now to see carrier. So we got about 5, 10, 15, 20 watt carrier, something like that. Let's see what PEP it does. Switch to audio, and we're doing just a hair under 100 watts, maybe 95 watts, something like that. So let's just say 100 watts PEP. Okay, shut that off. Let's put the box on. It's got a soft start. You can hear that double click. Okay, box is in AM. I've already tuned and loaded it, so let's switch slugs. Let's put the 2500 watt slug in, and we're on PEP, and I'm going to put just a carrier. So this was what, a 20 watt carrier going in. It's going to give us like a 250 watt carrier on the output, something like that. Now if we give it audio, okay, we're at 1250, something like that, right? 1250, maybe 1300 depending on your parallax, I don't know. But 1300 watts. You put more in, you'll get more out. It's as simple as that. Right now we're drawing a little over 300 mils on the plate. An interesting thing I wanted to talk about very briefly is, when I ship these boxes, I'll put a piece of masking tape over the knobs. Just so you're close, but at least in this version of this box, we're not using vacuum variables, we're not using vacuum caps, so it's they're air variables. So if I turn this knob from here to here, it's in the same position. You know what I mean? You can only turn it halfway, and then it reverses and it goes back the other way. They keep turning. So I don't know what the hang-up is. People have a real hang-up about knobs and positions. Like they want me to put marks on them and lines. And I mean, I guess I can, but the reality is you're tuning the knobs for maximum PEP. That's all you're doing, okay? So let's say your kid comes over, right? And he goes, whoa, we turned the knobs. Holy crap. Oh, your box is out of tune, right? Don't panic. Let's show you how to tune it up, okay? So we're going to give this thing a carrier. And I'm going to key it. And we're not going to see a lot of watts out, okay? So we're seeing nothing, right? Box is keyed. Turn the tune knob. Okay, you see what I'm doing here? I turn it till I see some watts. Whee! Then I turn this one until I see more watts. Okay? All right, now that box is close to being on frequency. not complex, but we've tuned it for a carrier. So what's going to happen is it's not going to react correctly when we put audio into it. This is tuned for CW. So let's put a tone into it. This is the equivalent of saying audio, okay? Let's key it, and then we'll adjust the knobs for maximum PEP. So right now we're only getting, oh my God, we're only getting 700 watts. So look what I do. We're going to move the load control here. Look at that. Can you see what I'm doing here? Okay. We're going to adjust like that. And boom, you're at 1250. See? Do you see what happens here? You're just finding a peak. And then you just touch up your tune. Okay? And that's it. You're done. That's all it takes to tune these boxes. Just, it's just now your carrier's lower. You see that? You're at 250. So all you got to do, I wish I had the tripod here today, guys. I would have stepped back further, but you're just moving the knob left and right for a maximum PEP. Don't worry about its position, And the load position will change depending on drive. If you drive it harder, your load will change. The tune will change depending on frequency, and both of them will change depending on voltage. But your voltage is steady. We're not in an AC mobile, so it doesn't matter. But that's all it is. Just turn the knobs till you get maximum output. It's as simple as that to tune your box. You can do the same thing on average. I find it easier to do on peak. That's all. But they're pretty simple boxes. This one came out really nice. It's quiet. It's really quiet. Not even warm. Yeah, I like the extra cooling on both sides. But another thing that people talk about with amplifiers that I wanted to just touch on while I have this amplifier on here is people are always concerned with how much drive they're using and how high of a carrier they should run. Now, everybody's equipment is their own. You can do whatever you want. But my rule of thumb, and most people's rule of thumb, if you don't want to start to get crunchy and back swinging, try to give your final amplifier, I don't care what the drivers do, but make sure this gives you a carrier of somewhere between 25 to 30% of your final modulated PEP. So if you're doing 1,000 out or so, 250 watt carrier is fine. It's pretty easy. It's pretty simple as that. I'm putting in like 20 watt carrier and I'm getting 250 out. So you're right in the ballpark. You can key it higher if you want, or you can key it lower. You don't have to get 1,300 watts out every time you run it. If you read the data sheet, these tubes have a plate dissipation of 500 watts, and that's not power out. That's the heat that the tube can safely dissipate. Now, let's just say that let's just hope that it's 65% efficient, and that's usually achievable by almost everybody on Earth. So if it is, your power out should be somewhere in the neighborhood of 900 to 1,000 watts. Let's just hope somewhere in that neighborhood. So if you're doing 1,000 watts per Z, you're running the tube correctly. And that's where you want to be. Can you make it do 1,100? Can you make it do 1,800? Can you make it do 1,900? Yes, you can. Every box that I built could do 1,900 watts. I'm not suggesting you run it there. That is a drag race scenario, and you should not run your amplifier like that. But they're all capable of doing it. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick. You guys should run your equipment as close to spec as possible. And, let's face it, tubes aren't cheap, right? The tubes aren't $75 anymore, right? They're not $100 anymore. They're $270, I think, for a 500Z, somewhere in that neighborhood. So you don't want to be popping tubes, like popcorn. There's no need to. That's it. If you need more watts, get a bigger box. It's as easy as that. Now, Mountaintop Electronics is, I built this box. This is recent. I did this, I don't know, a week and a half ago. So I just haven't had a chance to film it. And again, I'm sorry about the tripod, but I've been screwing around with a lot of other personal projects, and you know, it's summertime, so I'm doing home renovation, and I started building another AC mobile for myself, just to ride around in. So that's been taking some time. That's what that's for over there. But anyway, so I'm not taking a break from building, but I'm going to be building a little bit less, if that makes any sense. Um, so I do have a little bit of inventory. I have a 7B left. I have the 500Z over here. And I've got to finish up another 2-tuber. I'm almost done with another 2-tuber. If anybody needs a 2-tube Z. And that's a really nice box. It's got a big honking power supply in it, all one piece. So I'm gonna have that done probably end of this week, maybe early next week. So things are coming along, but definitely going to be slower for the summer. So if you need your box for your summer DX, call me. And another thing I wanted to touch on was repair work. I typically don't get involved in repairing other brand boxes. I mean, call me, ask me what you need. I can tell you right now, if it's a sweep tube box, I'm not interested. I'm not going to do it. But there's a lot of really janky equipment out there, guys. Really janky. And I'm not saying that to insult anybody or diss any techs. It's not my point. It's just sometimes I don't feel safe working on boxes the way they're built. And I'm not going to put my life in jeopardy. And to be honest with you, when something's that unsafe, now you're looking at having me do an entire rebuild, in my opinion, to get it where I want it to be. You know, it's not often you can do a patch-up job, you know? So, like, you know, I'm willing to get into a project if I can see the end and I know that it's going to come out the way that I feel comfortable putting my name on it. Because let's face it, once my hand's in it, I wind up owning the box, right? That's, you know, that's the way these things go. And, but, you know, it costs a lot to build these boxes from scratch. It costs a lot if I have to charge you by the hour to repair them. And I'll be very frank, and this is something that nobody wants to talk about, but nobody ever wants to hear that they have a poorly made box. And that's the truth, and it hurts, but it's true. And I'm not saying I'm the best, but I do pretty neat work, and I want my customers to have neat work, and I want them to have stuff that works. And, you know, I don't want to send something poor out of the shop, you know, because the customer couldn't spend money on it. And let's face it, this stuff's expensive, you know. So all that being said, try not to contact me for repair work. That's where I'm going with this. I like doing what I'm doing. I like building the boxes that I build. I like what I accomplish here. I like the way they come out. My customers seem to like the way they perform, and that's the way I want to keep them. Okay? I want to be happy, and I want everybody else to be happy. So, but that's it. Like I said, I got a 2-tube Z coming, and I got another project that's been languishing for a while. I've got a 2-tube 35B that is a monster. It's a big 2-piece unit. It's a monster, guys. I mean, wait till you see this thing, and it's got the best of everything. And when that has to get completed, so that's my like third project ahead of me. But give me a call. This box is available. I had a couple people before I put this video up. They were on and off hitting me whether they wanted it or not, but it is available. Nobody's come through with it yet. So if you want this box, you know, hit me up. Let me know. And have a great day. 73s, and we'll see you.